Well, lawmakers are considering a proposal that could shield certain death investigation photos from the public view. Senate Bill 1250 would exempt images of deceased individuals from Idaho's public records law, even after investigations are complete. As Abby Wilt reports, lawmakers say it shields grieving families and friends from more hurt.
All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
A bill that could change Idaho's public records law is moving forward at the State House.
Senate Bill 1250 amends the Public Records Act to ensure that photos of deceased individuals cannot be released to the public.
The bill's sponsor, Senator Melissa Wintrow, says the proposed law doesn't restrict all crime scene photos, but just prevents deceased bodies from being shown.
Currently, there's no specific law that protects those records from being released.
In a unanimous vote, the Senate Judiciary and Rules Committee passed the bill after hearing testimony from Alan Hodges, who's been fighting for this legislation for years. That comes after his 14-year-old daughter died in a bathtub from an epileptic episode, and her photos were released.
There is some pretty disturbing photos of my daughter that passed away a few years ago from my epileptic seizure, and they're not protected.
Olivia Gonzalez, sister of Kaylee Gonzalez, who was one of the 4 victims killed in the University of Idaho killings, says seeing her sister's crime scene photos appear on the internet didn't help her family heal.
When the first scene photos were released, they were everywhere all at once. Within an hour, they were completely unavoidable.
President of the Idaho Press Club, Melissa Davlin, says this bill doesn't prevent the press from doing their job.
Typically, if there is a proposal that exempts things from the public record, we take a really close look at it, and we feel like this proposal strikes a really, really good balance.
But instead ensures journalists can still provide ethical reporting while ensuring dead bodies are not shown.
Is it actually going to advance the conversation about public safety, or how the prosecutors are conducting their investigations and holding public officials accountable, and what's going to cause more harm to the survivors and their families?
The only resistance today in the hearing was from those who say the measure should go even further.
We don't need to see graphic, exploitive images of somebody who has died.
Today at the hearing, a coroner, chief prosecuting attorney, and several family members said it ultimately comes down to protecting victims and ensuring that photos are only released when there's a clear legal purpose. These are one of the things that there's kind of that balance of ensuring that, there's transparency, but also it protects the victims, right?
Exactly. And Wintrow actually said there was a first version of this bill she had introduced, and she said that was actually too restrictive. So after talking with the press and talking with family members, she felt like this was more of a balance to make sure that it is protecting families, but also giving transparency to the public on what exactly happened.
Trying to strike a balance is always the biggest goal. All right, Abby, thank you.